shift. So first I would say it is not a shift. It is not a shift. Let's understand it deeply from the perspective of the United States of America, which US is trying to develop it from last 25-30 years basically. First let's understand this, कि US perception of world order. US always prefer a unipolar world order. And in unipolar world order, US see India's role as a partner, but always as a second partner. And US always proposed this idea, the overall political, economic, strategic, military growth of India will be the highest under the unipolar world basically. And that is why US pushes that India should support in US ambition of unipolar world order. And with this vision, they started helping India so they can easily create a balance against the China in the region, and their dream of unipolarity can be easily maintained. On the other hand, India has a very different perception. India believes that India can grow faster and can play a bigger role in a multipolar world rather than a unipolar world. If I'll quote our foreign minister, he said that India will be the biggest beneficiary of the cleavages of the world, as we were beneficiary of the Cold War period. India easily played between US and Russia, and both helped India to emerge as a power over there. So if there will be multiple cleavages at the level of world level, so India is the one who may facilitate sometimes peace talks, who may facilitate sometimes business talks, and can give an impression to be with one, and India is going to be biggest beneficiaries. And India always believes that the multipolar world is more peaceful and stable. And moreover, it will help India to play a much bigger role what we can play in a unipolar world. That is what India's perception is that. So as long as both were trying to realize their aspirations and dream, they keep on cooperating. But this is not the new thing, that is post 2000 phenomena you can say. Now after the 25 years, the recent incidents where India clearly showed that India is not ready to be going to completely follow US. That happened in the case of Ukrainian war. India preferred to abstain rather than taking the US side. Look at the Japan. Japan completely followed the United States of America. Then in the case of Russia, India continued its defense engagement with the Russian side. S-400 is a very classic example of this. And purchasing energy, from the Russia. And in fact, if you see this year, the energy import is up to the 20%. This is one of the highest trade. 30%. And it is not a regular trade energy partner of India in compared to Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, other countries. So this was the second thing. Even India's soft stand along with the China in the certain cases, this all clearly reflected that India is not going to be fall in line easily.
अब सोचिए जैसे ट्रंप ने कहा 100% टैरिफ और 80% टैरिफ, whatever he said. Now every producer becomes worried. मैं वियतनाम से खरीदता हूँ, like Nike के 39% शूज वियतनाम में बनते हैं, 20% of their clothes are in Vietnam, and then they sell it in America. तो अब ये वरीड हो गया that if Vietnam pays 46% टैरिफ, तो ये तो मैं ही वहाँ से बनाकर अपने देश में ला रहा हूँ, तो मुझ पे 46% का टैरिफ लगेगा. तब तक ट्रंप ने कह दिया 3 महीने का मोरेटोरियम है. अब मैं अगर एक कंपनी हूँ तो मैं परेशान हूँ कि अब मैं क्या करूँ.
Should I go for the production or not?
Or should I change the place? तो एक तो ये इन्वेस्टर्स अनसर्टेनिटी बनाता है बहुत ज़बरदस्त. सेकेंड ये क्या करता है that कुछ कंपनीज एक्शन लेना शुरू करती हैं that now things will become costly. So automatically private companies have to learn to live with profit, otherwise how will they survive? And the challenge then is that unemployment starts happening. That अगर मैं uncertain हूँ, मेरे business ही नहीं मिल रहा,
correct.
So I will have to leave my
the
workers.
Companies also think 10 times, should we recruit, should we improve production, should we go for the mass scale or not?
Correct. तो ये मैं ऐड करना चाहता था सर, that employment एक issue है, investors confidence एक issue.
इसी context में अब जैसे Apple iPhone का production चाइना में हो रहा है,
correct.
अब वो US में सेल होता है. अब वो iPhone में अगर टैरिफ इतना बढ़ गया चाइनीज गुड्स पे, तो दिस में बिकम वेरी कॉस्टली. सो द प्रोडक्शन विल बेसिकली विल बी अ वेस्ट इफ इट इज नॉट बीइंग सोल्ड, इफ इट इज कॉस्टली.
इसमें एक बात आती है पेरिस एग्रीमेंट. पेरिस एग्रीमेंट, अभी न्यूज़ में था, हमने देखा कि यूएस ने जो है डिसीजन लिया है टू विड्रॉ फ्रॉम द पेरिस एग्रीमेंट। कैसे देखते हैं आप यूएस के विड्रॉल को फ्रॉम पेरिस एग्रीमेंट?
सर एक्चुअली इफ यू सी दिस इज नॉट न्यू, यूएस हैज बीन, अगर हम क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल से अगर हम बात करें तो वहाँ पे भी दे हैव नॉट रेटिफाइड इट फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। उसके बाद पेरिस एग्रीमेंट जब ट्रम्प पहले पावर में थे देन ऑल्सो ही विड्रू फ्रॉम UNFCCC। बट अगर हम इसे बात करें कि इम्पैक्ट कैसा होगा सर, तो इम्पैक्ट कुड बी मेजर बिकॉज यूएसए सिंस लाइक इफ यू सी इट इज द सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एमिटर, फर्स्ट पे था बट नाउ चाइना हैज ओवरटेकन इट, सो सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एमिटर है सर। प्लस इफ यू टॉक अबाउट दीज $1.3 ट्रिलियन और $300 बिलियन दैट वी आर टॉकिंग, यूएसए इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट इकोनॉमी वी ऑल नो, so the contribution that we can expect from USA is huge, and if USA is not going to take part in it, so these kind of targets, meeting these targets will become difficult.
But if we see the US history, US has more often than not been not part of many international climate or environmental related negotiation. There is Basel Convention, Rotterdam Convention, Stockholm Convention. US is not a party to that. As Ravi sir was saying, the US did not join the Kyoto Protocol. And when the Donald Trump came in the first regime, Donald Trump took a decision of withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. And now again, when the Donald Trump have come back, because after this Donald Trump, when the Biden was in the power, US took a decision of joining the Paris Agreement. And now again, as the regime has changed, Donald Trump has taken a decision of withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. So we have a history, right, of US not joining many international agreements related to the environment conservation. Many times we have seen Donald Trump in the past making statements to this extent also that maybe climate change is mythical, maybe it's kind of a hoax which is created. We are not going into that because many a times statements have been both ways. Many a times Donald Trump keep on saying that we are also ready to contribute in the fight against the climate change.
So terrorism is basically go for indiscriminate killing. Even they kill government officials, paramilitary forces, as well as common people. So, because ultimate aim is to generate fear among the minds of the people. And when it comes to the targets or their goals that keep on changing. Even when they start their work, their target is something else and then later on it may get changed. But at the end of the day, terrorists are, I would say that they are also looking for the nothing more than a power in that particular area wherever they are operating basically. And as they cannot get all these things through the legal and constitutional means, so they went beyond that line and they went to create a fear among the minds of the people that they can challenge the state itself basically. This idea of challenging the state is core to the idea of the terrorism.